get my last, let's say, 4 transactions, generating a transaction history for me. So here are my last transactions that I did. What's the slot block, what was the block time, and whether the status has been finalized or not. Alright, so hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this video we are basically going to be taking a look at how you can create your own MCP servers that can communicate with your Solana blockchain. And then in this particular scenario, we'll be taking a look at 2 MCP tools that we are going to be developing. The first one is going to be how you can, do the first one is going to be how you can view your current Solana balance, and then what are your latest transaction, and you can extend this MCP tool. The code is on my GitHub, so you can definitely check that out as well. Now, before starting with anything, what is even an MCP server and why do we need it and what's the hype about? Now, to explain this in really simple terms, think of this scenario, right? So these are 3 different persons. So person A has, let's say, a type C charger, and then the person B, which is the green one, has a type USB type B charger, and then we have a lightning cable. Now in this case, now let's say the person A wants to borrow charger from person C, but person C can't give that because it's a lightning cable, right? So you can think the tool that we have here is the charging. We need that charger, right? But we can't share with each of these things. So in real life scenarios, we are making type C as a universal hub the same way. So this is the thing. So we have type C, we have USB, we have lightning cable, and the common task is charging. But we are not able to charge because there is no bridge that we have right now, right? And that's the same case with all of the AI companies right now, which is OpenAI has their some kind of different tooling, then Claude, Anthropic has some kind of different tools, then Gemini has a different way to specify the tools. And in this case, all of these things are different clients, such as Claude, Windsurf, and any MCP client that's there. Now you connect with that MCP server, and our common task is Solana actions, right? So now let's create this MCP tool. So let's open up our VS Code, and this is a blank file, and let's start with installing all of the dependencies. So the first dependency that you'll need is Solana, and second is MCP. After you install that, to create the MCP server, we need from mcp.server.fastmc import fastmcp. Now to do actions from Solana, we'll need from solana.rpc.async import client. Also need the pub key. So from Solana it's from soldiers, which is a dependency that comes with all right. And then to run the server, you can just do mcp.run, and there you go. So first initialize our MCP server. So MCP is going to be fast MCP, and our MCP name would be Solana actions, and then port of the MCP. And this you have to specify. You can whatever you can specify whatever port you need, but you need this port so that you can put that port in the Claude configuration files. Next up, you need the host, which is 127.0.0.1, and the timeout that we have, which is going to be true. And the timeout for this MCP action would be 30 seconds. Now you can run the MCP server using mcp.run. Now there is a way to debug MCP servers is using an MCP CLI. So what you'll need to install is pip install MCP CLI. So now to run this, you need to first remove this or comment this MCP server for a second, and then you can just run mcp dev sol MCP server, hit enter, and there you go. So the proxy server is at this, and the debug tool is running on this. So now you can copy this up, go to your favorite browser, paste it up there, and there you go. Now there is 2 types of transport. First is standard input output, and then there is server sent events. You can choose whatever you want, and then you can hit connect. Now you can go to tools, you can list a tool. So basically there are no tools specified, so let's create a tool real quick. So we'll say mcp.tool, and let's say simple tool, right? And then you here just say return message hello. Let's go back, list tools. So we basically need to connect it again. and list tool, and there you go, we have a simple tool. If you run this, we get this hello. So this is kind of a MCP dev tools that you have, because every time you won't be going to, let's say, an MCP client, querying stuff and whether it's not working or not. You can just go here, go to NCP inspector, and then you can debug your tool right here. All right, so now let's create our tools. So the first tool is going to be get account balance. So account balance, and we say with async client that we specified up there. And here you need to pass the URL of the mainnet, right? This API as client, and then we'll just say balance is going to be await client.get balance. And the documentation basically, or let's say Solana Python, and there you go RPC API, and there you can get all of the things such as gets ledger and all those ledger and blocks, etc. Now before that, we have to specify the pub key. So we'll specify the pub key as pub key from string, and pub, this shouldn't be pub key string. We'll just say address, and that's where every time completions doesn't work. So that's going to be an int. And from pub key, this is going to be our address, which is my Sol wallet. And then you can get the balance from the pub key. So I've divided that by 100 because if you go to get balance, it gives us this. And now quickly, let's write a tool for getting all the latest transaction as well. So these are our two tools that we have specified. Now, to make sure that our tools work, we have to write comments in the tool. So basically that way our MCP client knows why this tool is there. So let's say Claude is communicating with this tool. So here the function is explanatory that it's for getting the account balance. But let's say somewhere you write X. Okay, what's this X for? So we can write here small comments such as this function provides. So why this is important is because let's say you have a very big tool, like multiple tools at once. So more the context you provide based, let's say you get account balance, and then you have another one for account balance for Ethereum, right? Both of them will be like get account balance, ETH, right? But let's say Claude doesn't know, or your MCP client is not smart enough that he knows that, whether it's that or that. So with this context, so with this, the MCP client would not have a hard time, figuring out why this function is there and which tool I have to call for this. So yeah, that is it for this. And now you have to just run the MCP server. So now let's open up your Claude desktop, and there you can go to Claude, and then you can go to settings of the Claude, then you can edit the config, you know. Now here you basically have to edit the Claude desktop config file. So let's open this up. And in here, the first thing you need to do is specify what your tool is. So let's say Solana MCP. And inside that, the first thing we need to do is set a command. Now, this command is basically going to be your Python. Now, I have seen many of us doing Python 3 just. It's not gonna work. If you have installed all of these dependencies, let's say into the global environment in Python using pip, then it's going to be working. But if you are using Ven, then you have to go into Ven, go into bin, and then copy this Python 3 full path, not relative, full path, and then paste it over here. Next, you have to set up arguments for your project, and that will be your Sol MCP server. Next is the host, wherever you're hosting your MCP server. So it's 127.0.0.1. The port of your MCP server, that's important, that I already told you. And the timeout, which is going to be it was 30 seconds. So this is in milliseconds. All right, so that is it. You can just close your MCP server now. Now you can go to Claude, close this completely, reopen your Claude. Now we'll see some of the tools coming right next to it. Yeah, there you go. Now you can click over it, and now there you can see all of your tools that's there. So let's say, hey Claude, can you give me my account balance? Yeah. So Claude doesn't have my wallet address. So let's give Claude my wallet address. Now I'll add my wallet address over here and hit enter. Now Claude has the context of my wallet address. It knows which tool to call after that. So now allow for this chat. I have like 1,68,000 soul, which is I basically have to divide this by this number. So that way, 1 second. Yeah. Now it will say that I have 0.168 soul. Now let's say get my current transaction. So get my last, let's say 4 transactions. Generating a transaction history for me. So here are my last transactions that I did. What's the slot block? What was the block time, and whether the status has been finalized or not. So there you go, folks. This is how you create an MCP server. Now, it is in this MCP server. First, you have to change the thing over here in our server, and then you have to close the Claude and then relaunch the Claude to reflect any changes. It's not an a hot reload, or let's say just what do we do in web development. So yeah, that is it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, see ya. Have a good day.